I heard you did deprogramming for former cult members. Is
Well,
that correct?
we don't call it deprogramming.
Okay, and
Because deprogramming carries the connotation of kidnapping people, and we never held anyone against their will.
okay,
In fact, there have been times that people have driven 3 or 4 hours to see us to help resolve their family issues.
okay, and how?
But have we done interventions and helped people many times?
And how is this done? How do you deprogram? How do you do interventions? What is?
We use an educational model.
Okay.
And allow the person to think for himself. Basically, what happens when when a person's in a cult, there are a lot of stopping techniques that are used. There's a lot of very sophisticated manipulative techniques that are used. Some people call it brainwashing, some people call it mind control. It's really heavy-duty manipulation is what it is. Robert Lifton came up with 8 points of mind control, and he wrote a book on it called Thought Reform and the Psychology of Mind Control. He's a professor, I think, at Yale University. I think that's where he works, I'm not sure. He worked with Dr. Margaret Singer and Dr. Jolly West in the 50s. We explained those points of mind control. Everyone will tell you that they're not under mind control. People under mind control will always tell you they're not under mind control. But if they were under mind control, they would go, I don't want to be under mind control, and they would probably leave.
Yep.
Yeah. But once they understand how mind control works, it's a different story. And it's different for every person. Someone asked yesterday, what could you say to have gotten you to leave? If you could have given me an alternative explanation for all the experiences that I had while I was in Scientology, if you could have told me that, and I had a question about it. For example, you're familiar with TR0?
Yeah.
They had, back in the 70s, they had what they called hard TR0. That's where you're supposed to sit and look at someone else for 2 hours, no squirming, no blinking, no swallowing. Just be there, just be there. That's sensory deprivation. Because your eyes are used to moving around, taking in information, you're feeling things, there's all this information, that's sensory information that's coming in, so you know what's going on. If you put a person in a situation where there's sensory deprivation, that can put them into an altered state of consciousness. I went into quite an altered state of consciousness, and I felt really strange. And at the same time, I felt very serene. Like nothing could touch me, nothing could harm me. But when I was walking around, it's like, I'm not really with it here, you know. And I never understood what that was, ever. It was always a big, what happened? You know, I sat and did that for 4 hours one afternoon, and I could never quite figure out what it was that happened. It was just an altered state of consciousness. If you could have told me, Jerry, you know what, I can tell you why you felt like that, and give me the explanation of altered states of consciousness, and given me logical scientific evidence, substantiated, they're going, oh, now of course, that is a point of mind control called mystical manipulation. That's when you're put in a situation where something is going to occur, they know it's going to occur, you don't know what it is, you don't know how it's going, subjectively, you don't know how it's going to feel, and then they explain it to their benefit. Their benefit was, yeah, your reactive mind keyed out, that's what it's like to be clear.